Ambassador Zethkar had seen many species capitulate before the hegemony's might. The ritual was always the same: threats, demonstrations of superior firepower, then the inevitable surrender. Species after species had bent the knee, accepting their place as vassals in the ever-expanding galactic empire. But as he stood in the sterile conference room aboard the human vessel Defiance, watching the small delegation of humans across the polished table, something felt different. "You understand the terms," Zethkar said, his forearms spreading wide in what his species considered a gesture of magnanimous authority. "Surrender your military assets, accept hegemony governance, and your people will be treated fairly." Captain Sarah Chen, the lead human negotiator, sat perfectly still. Her dark eyes never wavered from his. Behind her, Admiral Marcus Torres shifted slightly, the only sign of tension in the otherwise composed human delegation. "We've heard your terms," Chen said quietly. "Our answer is no." Zethkar's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement.
"Captain, perhaps you misunderstand.
"We have over 3,000 vessels in this system. Our technology surpasses yours by centuries. We've conquered 47 star systems in the past decade alone." "We understand perfectly," Torres interjected, his weathered face grim. "We also understand that you've never faced humans before." The hegemony ambassador leaned back, studying these peculiar beings. Most species, when faced with impossible odds, sought compromise or delay. These humans seemed almost eager. "Very well," Zethkar said. "We shall demonstrate our superiority. Prepare for the consequences of your foolishness." The first battle was a massacre. Human ships, outnumbered 10-1, threw themselves at hegemony battle lines with a ferocity that surprised even the veteran alien commanders. They didn't retreat when their shields failed. They didn't surrender when their hulls were breached. Instead, damaged human vessels rammed hegemony cruisers, their crews choosing death over defeat. "Barbaric," muttered Fleet Commander Nexus as he watched another human destroyer explode against one of his battleships. "Don't they value their lives?" His aide, a younger officer named Crix, studied the tactical displays with growing unease. "Sir, their tactics are unusual. They're not trying to win this engagement. They're learning." Nexus dismissed the observation. Primitives couldn't adapt fast enough to matter. The second battle, 3 weeks later, told a different story. Human tactics had evolved. They used their apparent recklessness as a weapon, convincing hegemony forces to expect suicide runs, while secretly deploying new weapon systems reverse-engineered from captured technology. What should have been another easy victory became a costly stalemate. By the fifth engagement, Nexus found himself facing human ships that seemed to anticipate his every move. Their technology had advanced at an impossible rate, incorporating not just hegemony innovations, but improvements that his own engineers couldn't comprehend. "How are they doing this?" he demanded of his science officer. "They're adapting, sir. Every defeat teaches them something new. They're not just copying our technology, they're making it better." The war dragged on for 2 years. What should have been a swift conquest became a grinding conflict that consumed resources and lives on both sides. But while the hegemony grew war-weary, the humans seemed to grow stronger. Captain Chen, now Admiral Chen, stood on the bridge of humanity's newest flagship, the Unyielding. Around her, displays showed a tactical situation that would have been unthinkable at the war's beginning. Human forces held the advantage. "They're requesting another negotiation," her communications officer reported. Chen nodded. She'd aged in the past 2 years, gray threading through her black hair, but her eyes burned with the same determination. "Tell them we'll meet on neutral ground." The second peace conference took place on a barren asteroid, in prefabricated structures hastily erected for the occasion. Zethkar looked older too, his carapace bearing scars from boarding actions, his forearms trembling slightly with fatigue. "You have impressed us," he said without preamble. "The hegemony offers a new arrangement. Join us as equals, not subjects." Chen studied him across the table. Behind her sat not just Admiral Torres, but a dozen other humans. Scientists, engineers, tacticians who had spent 2 years learning to defeat an empire. "We appreciate the offer," she said finally. "But we have a counter-proposal." Zethkar's mandibles clicked nervously. "The hegemony will withdraw from human space and the space of any species that wishes independence." In exchange, we won't pursue your retreating forces or seek retribution for this war. The alien ambassador's four eyes widened. You cannot be serious. We still outnumber you significantly across the galaxy. Admiral Torres leaned forward, a slight smile on his scarred face. Do you? Your intelligence suggests we've been building ships faster than you can count them. Our technology now surpasses yours in most categories, and most importantly, he paused, letting the weight of his words settle. We've learned something about you that you never learned about us. What? Sethkar whispered. You know when to quit, Chen said softly. We don't. The silence stretched between them, filled with the weight of 2 years of brutal warfare and the promise of decades more to come. Finally, Zethkar's shoulders sagged. The hegemony accepts your terms. As the alien delegation filed out, Torres turned to Chen. Think they'll honor the agreement? Chen watched through the viewport as hegemony ships began their withdrawal. Massive vessels that had once seemed invincible now fleeing from human space. They will, she said, because they finally understand what we've known all along. What's that? Humans never yield. We just learn from everything that tries to break us. In the depths of space, as word of humanity's victory spread through the galaxy, dozens of subjugated species began to stir. The hegemony had taught them that resistance was futile. The humans had taught them something else entirely. That some things are worth never surrendering no matter the cost. And sometimes the galaxy's greatest teacher is its most stubborn student.